Yeah, Dan asked me to record it again, so we'll record it now. Andy, welcome to the world here. So let me set you at co-host, and away you go. We haven't discussed how we want to do the Zoom yet today. Feel free to. How would you like to run the presentation today?
I thought we'd do it the same as we did last Friday.
The same? What? That'll make people bored.
Word for word. You were great last Friday.
Exactly word for word. Luis, now you're making it difficult for me.
I've got every faith in you.
Okay. All right. Word for word. Gee, that's a tough one. Shall we just wait a moment for more people to arrive, or?
Entirely up to you.
Well, we're recording on Facebook, and we're recording on well, I'll be sending it to Zoom. I'll be sending it to YouTube after. Okay. Well, I was figuring that you might want to do do the presentation today.
Yeah, to be honest, I've been running around all day, just non-stop. And my brain's a little frazzled, so we'll probably have a better presentation if you do it rather than me.
Understood. All right. Well, I figure that we got a good number of people here in the call here. Just let me grab this. I'll add that to my screen here, and then we'll get going. You figure it's time to get going? Still a couple more people coming in. They've all been trained.
Okay, well, I'll take care of letting people in.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
And kicking people out. I've restricted the chat, just as everybody knows. I've restricted chat to you can send messages to either Jan Gregory, who looks remarkably like Uncle Walter, or to me directly, but you can't send messages out in the group in general. So some of you know that the internet is full of idiots, and some of them they think it's great fun to chat bomb somebody else's Zoom meeting. They don't realize that the rest of us are here to do serious business. We have fun while we're doing it, but we're all about wanting to do something, make some money, build a serious business. They think it's good fun to just come in and try and disrupt that. So we don't want any of that. So I've locked down the chat, and at the end of the meeting, we'll open the chat up. And if they misbehave at that point, then we will kick them out. So simple as that.
Sounds like a plan. You should see my screen.
It's a cunning plan, my lord.
Yeah, precise and concise. There we go. Good plan. You can see my screen, I presume?
Absolutely, yes.
Perfect. So like Andy said, we're going to talk about how to make money today. This is an important topic. It really is. How to make money. And the reason why it's important to how to make money. Actually, let's talk back just a second here. Let's get some vocabulary so that we're talking about the same things. Because what you really want to do is make passive income. And by having passive income greater than your expenses, this is how you have financial freedom. This is how you get out of the rat race. This is how you the stresses of living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, and this is how you get out of that. And so let me talk to you about the cash flow quadrant first from Robert Kiyosaki, and explain some vocabulary so that we're all talking on the same page. Okay. So here in the employee section, this is where on the left-hand side, we've got employees and self-employed. Okay. This is where people are basically trading time for dollars. Okay. And the problem with this is that you don't work a day, you also don't get paid. Okay. So people tend to migrate throughout the quadrant as they gain education and understanding how money works, and so this process, I'll explain this process. Okay, so employees are people that everybody's an employee, so I don't really need to explain it, but I need to explain some behaviors employees do of what keeps them in the middle class. Okay, defining them middle class as opposed to everybody else. What keeps them in the middle class is the things they do with their money. They buy stuff, and they buy lots of stuff, and most of that stuff we'll just call doodads. Okay, again, this is from Robert Kiyosaki. So a doodad is something that you spend money on, and it does not produce for you. It doesn't grow you income. It doesn't grow your income, and it doesn't grow your finances. It's an expense. Now, some people go, well, a house is an asset. Well, not technically. The reason why your bank calls it an asset is because it's on the bank's books, on their log, on their system. They see the debits and the expenses. For them, yes, it is an asset because they receive money every single day. Okay. And that's what we want to do, is learn what is an asset and how to make assets work for us. And that's the thing that employees do. Like so things that middle class believe are assets are things like snowmobiles, motorbikes, cars, houses, boats, stuff. They just buy stuff. And this is what keeps them in the middle class. So they trade time for money. The next section down is self-employed. Often people will, for example, if you're a contract painter, you will often go from contract painter. So you're working for somebody, and I can do this better, and I can do it more efficiently. I can make more money doing it myself. And so they migrate from employee to self-employed, and they have a little small business, and that's works perfectly great. So contractors like painters, plumbers, carpenters, okay, laborers, these are often self-employed because they make more money as a self-employed. But again, they also, if they don't work that day, they also don't get paid that day. But other people that fit into this category are doctors and lawyers. These are well-educated people because they're running their own business and they're the boss. And that's a great situation to be in. So you want to migrate from this left-hand quadrant over to the right-hand quadrant. Okay. In employee section, you pay the most taxes. You make the least amount of income. In the self-employed section, you pay less taxes and you make more income because you decide what your income is. Under business or big business, you pay even less taxes and you make even more money. And under investor, you pay the least amount of taxes, and you also make the most amount of money. And under business, this would be like a business system. For example, like a franchise, those are business systems. Or if you, like for us that come from middle class, to get into this, a business system is the easiest way. For those that are not, for those that are in already kind of, in the understanding of how business works, they will become like shareholders in a business. Okay. So business systems, things like McDonald's or Tim Hortons or any sort of franchise. Okay. Also what fits into this category are businesses that are kind of relationship marketing businesses. Okay. It's a business system. The concept behind this one is 100% of 100 people, you're working with 1% of 100 people, you have more production than 100% from one person. And so that's the kind of the key in this group is I would sooner have the efforts of 1% of lots of people that I'm working with as opposed to 100% of my own efforts. It's working smarter as opposed to working harder. Which brings me to the best quadrant of them all. This is the most important quadrant. Okay, this is the investor quadrant. This is where your money works for you and you make more money as a result. And you have assets that work for you, things that make you money. Okay, now back to the original example of the house not being an asset. Well, you can convert that into an Airbnb. Now it is an asset because it's now producing you money every month or every day, whatever it is. Okay. And so this is how you can flip the mindset so that you make your assets work for you. So let's talk about the best asset in the world. Okay. And I'll explain why this is the best asset in the world is because, well, number one, so Bitcoin is the best asset in the world. It's the only asset in its asset class. It's the only asset worth having your wealth to guard your wealth. Okay. You migrate your wealth into Bitcoin. It's been the best asset running 8 of the past 11 years. Okay. And so you go, well, what is Bitcoin? Why is Bitcoin so special? What's so important about Bitcoin? Why do I need to own Bitcoin? Here's the reason why, is because Bitcoin is intellectual property. Okay. And so let me explain the differences between Bitcoin and gold. Okay. Gold is a really good asset to own. Okay. Hands down. Everybody agrees with me on this one. Gold is the best, is a good asset to own. And up until Bitcoin, it was the best asset to own. Here is the similarities and differences between gold and Bitcoin. Gold, you can mine. Yes. Gold is finite. Gold is not destructible. And with a modicum of effort, you can transfer gold from one place to another. You kind of have to have a broker to do that, but you can. So what makes Bitcoin better than gold is because it's intellectual property, I can hold all of that I have in my head, and I can transfer it to anybody I want, whenever I want. Okay. Any amount I want, I can transfer from me to somebody else. And it doesn't matter. I don't have to ask permission to anybody. I can do any amount I want, whenever I want. And so to retain wealth in Bitcoin is the best thing that people can do. So here's an example. You talk to your bank. Your bank says, oh, no, you shouldn't touch Bitcoin because of whatever. But then look at what the bank does. Okay. The bank tells you one thing and does something else. All the big banks in the world are buying Bitcoin on a daily basis, like BlackRock, for example, buying Bitcoin on a daily basis. Why? Because they know by transferring their wealth into Bitcoin, it's there. It's a safe commodity for them to use. Yes, it does go up and down, but when you're trading in Bitcoin, that's what it is. For example, gold. Back to gold. 100 years ago, you could buy a house for 10 bars of gold. Okay. Today, you can buy a house for 10 bars of gold. It's the same amount of gold. But what's happened is inflation has pushed the price of the house up, but it's still the same value. It's still the same commodity that you're getting out of it. Okay. And so Bitcoin is like that. It's a good storage of wealth. I'll give you another example of why Bitcoin is a good storage of wealth. Bitcoin, for example, New Yorkers will tell you that the best real estate market in the world is New York. And that is true. They've invested in New York for hundreds of years. Okay. But they don't flip buildings in New York. They don't flip houses in New York. What they do is they invest in the property and they keep expanding the property. And so the property becomes better and the value of the property goes up over time. And they will it to their child, will it to their great-grandchildren, will it to their great-grandchildren. They keep it in the family. They don't flip them. Whereas in other markets, we do flip them. Okay. So this is why Bitcoin is the best asset to own, is that same concept of it's wealth protection is what it is. Okay. The price of Bitcoin goes up over time and is projected to continue to go up over time. It has little dips and valleys, but over a long period of time, it's kind of got this steady growth going up. Okay, over the next few years, it will get to $1 million a point. Whereas, 8-10 years ago, it was $1. It was $100. You could buy 100. And so it's going up and down. Every once in a while, it will peak and valley, and these are the the halvings that happen every time. Every time there's a halving, it does it just before and just after. Okay. So the other thing about Bitcoin is really good experts in the field. They understand why it's important to own Bitcoin. They understand why it's important to keep Bitcoin. And in a moment, I'll explain to you how Bitcoin is mined and how we can take advantage of that and grow Bitcoin. Okay, so here's some experts. So Kathy Woods, expert in the field, Robert Kiyosaki, Michael Saylor. These are all people that understand the importance of owning Bitcoin. Other, not just corporations. Big corporations are buying Bitcoin, but companies, not just companies, but countries. So, for example, the United States is one of the top owners of Bitcoin, followed by China, followed by Germany, followed by El Salvador. Okay, and the reason why a lot of these countries are owning Bitcoin, again, back to the banks, they tell you one thing, they do something else. Well, from my perspective, I go, I think I'll do what they do as opposed to do what they tell me. Okay, I find it much more productive in life. But one reason why is remittance. Okay, transfers from here to here, the transfers. One of the reasons why Salvador went to Bitcoin as their currency is their people are remitting hundreds of millions of dollars a year back and forth between people in the United States and Canada, or whatever, back to Salvador, and they're paying these exorbitant fees. This brings me up to I'll explain how Bitcoin is made and how it's produced. Okay, I don't want that on that side. I want that over here. Okay, so Bitcoin, the way it's produced, the way it's made. Okay, Bitcoin is mined just like a mining machine. You've got it pulls gold out of the dirt. Okay, this is how the mining works with Bitcoin. Is every day there are people that make transfers. So transfer from point A to point B. There's a little fee that goes on in this process. Okay, this is a graphical representation of every single one of these blocks following is a graphical representation of what is going on right now, today, right now, this minute. These are all the transactions that are occurring in Bitcoin. And so every single one of these transactions, there's a fee attached to it, just a small fee. It's not like the banking, which has huge, massive fees. And it's just an intellectual, oh, I'm changing from one slot on the page to the other slot. No, there's a small fee. But what happens is the mining, they make their money by this transaction, by the mining of this. And I'll explain how the mining works. Okay. So you've got a machine. This is called a miner. And let's say you can buy a rig with 3 or 4 machines on it for $10,000. Okay. It produces about $5 a day. Okay. This is, feel free to look it up. This is regular information on it. This is nothing new. So a machine, what it does is it detects movement on the network. This is movement on the network. It detects the movement on the network, and it starts to have, it goes, okay, it has to have a mathematical computation to resolve a question. And the first computer that posts this answer receives the commission, the gas fee, as a reward for that. Okay. So the first computer that posts it, they receive the gas fee. Okay. After 10 minutes, this whole entire block is then revealed. You can see there's sections here and there that haven't been filled in yet. But once all of the sections are filled in, every 10 minutes, that reveals the whole entire block. That whole entire block is then deposited into the mining farm. Okay. And that's where the Bitcoin is held. Part of this process in the revealing of the block is new Bitcoin is created at that moment in time. Every 4 years, there is a halving. What the halving is the amount of Bitcoin that is created at that moment in time is halved. Okay. So they started off with every 10 minutes, they're producing 1 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin. And it's down to, I don't know, something smaller than that. because it halves every 4 years, and it will continue halving for the next 200 years. Okay, so this mining process will continue for at least another 200 years. So the mining machines, one mining machine, every time a mining machine posts the answer to the question, it receives that reward for the work it did to get that answer. Okay, and only that machine receives the answer, receives that remuneration. Okay, and so this happens all day long. These are transfers going from here to there, because everybody's transferring Bitcoin for whatever reasons. Some amounts are big, like that one. Some amounts are very tiny, like that one. Okay, doesn't matter. It's being processed every day, every minute. Which brings me into why we are involved and why we're talking about assets and why we're talking about Bitcoin and how it's important to own it. In this particular case, this is way better because not only are we owning it, we are mining it. And so we're pulling it fresh out of the ground every single day. We are mining it. And so we've got a machine that connects intellectually via VPN to the other machines. These ones here I just showed you. Wow. There we go. They connect intellectually to the machines via VPN. Okay. And what this machine does is it makes it so that it actually detects on the network the movement. Okay. And what it does is it evaluates each movement for some criteria. Okay. And by evaluating it, it makes it more efficient for the miners because it'll evaluate each movement and go, first of all, is this a real job that needs to be processed? Because there are jobs that appear on the network that just get tossed out. And so that miner spent energy trying to resolve a question that doesn't have an answer. And so that's just one failure of Bitcoin mining as a regular process is it will, you've got a machine that's working really hard to get to an answer and they don't get a result. Okay. Next, so it'll give the mining process an advantage by filtering and sorting the jobs that come in. I'll give you an example. Let's say you've got, I'll compare it to fruit. You got an apple, which is really easy to process. You got an orange, a banana that's a little bit tougher, but you got to peel it, and an orange, which is tougher to peel, and then like a pineapple. And so if I give it as examples like this, where you've got different objects that need to be actioned, the easiest one, it sends to the miner first. The next hardest, it gives to the miner next, and the next hardest, the next hardest. And so what happens as a result is the exorbitant costs of electricity that normally get processed as a result of this mining machine whirring away, this modulates the electricity as a result. And it gives the jobs in an order that make logical sense to the mining machine. That way the machine itself is more efficient and it increases its efficiency. Okay. And by it increasing its efficiency, it makes it so that the mining companies that own these mining machines, they are more efficient as a result. And so it reduces their electricity costs and increases the output of Bitcoin. Okay. And so in our particular case, we have a partnership with 3 mining companies. One of them is in Texas, another one is in Ethiopia, and I don't know where the third one is. But during these past 4 or 5 months, we have produced, as of June 26th, 100 Bitcoin. Okay. These 100 Bitcoins, we shared them because we've got a contract with the mining company. So 60% of the mining Bitcoins that were mined went back to the mining company. 30% goes to the miner, the owners of the bit boosters, that's us, and 10% goes to the company, the parent company, the mediator between us. Okay. And so this is a very, very well shared process where 60% went to the mining, back to the mining companies. And so this pays for electricity, pays for all sorts of stuff. 30% goes to us, BitBooster owners, and 10% goes to the parent company. And as a result, so in this example, we had 100 Bitcoin that were produced as of, a couple of months ago. So 60 went to the mining company, 30 went to us, and 10 went to our parent company. Okay. So the output that we've had over this past 4 months is in Bitcoin. Okay. Just going to increase this just a teeny bit. That way you can see it easier. And that way there's no, okay. And so this has been the output that we've had over the past 4 months. This is, same as the other picture, just a different way of looking at it. And we receive Bitcoin every day. So the Bitcoin that we receive, remember the process, it goes from the mining machine to the, can't even think of the word right now. My brain just went blank. To the mining pool, okay? And from there, we can then pull out the Bitcoin from the mining pool. Also, what happens is miners choose to sell it at the mining pool to companies like Binance or KuCoin or Coinbase. And so big retailers will buy Bitcoin from the miners at the mining pool, and they will then retail it to us or to other people. This is how people can buy it every day, because they buy that Bitcoin and then they can own it. Okay. Whereas we, on the other hand, we actually receive the Bitcoin directly from the mining pool. So when you click withdrawal, you receive that money right then. So I want to talk about, let's say you have 1 Bitcoin, okay? And you decide that you want to buy 70 boosters because 1 booster costs $1,000. At the end of the year, you will have produced about 1.823 Bitcoins, but you can still have 70 boosters. So next year, it produces another 1.823 Bitcoins approximately, and you still have 70 boosters. The next year after that, it produces 1.823 Bitcoins, and you still have 70 boosters. So this is what I mean by buying an asset that works for you. So this is a one-time fee. One time. You never ever have to put more money into the system if you don't want to. Many people will buy an asset, and then as it makes them money, they will take some out, and they will use some that's already in the system and buy another asset. And this way it pays them more as they go, okay? But they don't have to put in more money if they don't want to. And that's what makes this company so cool, is it's a one-time fee. And you buy the booster, you buy an asset, and it makes you money forever. You receive the Bitcoin, you receive with every asset that you buy, it comes with a 5-year warranty, comes with an IMEI number, and so to track it, it's like having a reference number on your cell phone. Okay, every single number is different. It's the product number. Okay, and what makes this really cool is I don't have to plug this USB device into my computer. I don't have to do any of that crap. I buy it. It's housed at the server at our main office, and I don't have to babysit it. I don't have to worry about my internet speed. I don't have to worry about troubleshooting it. I don't have to worry about babysitting it. I don't have to worry about installing and configuring software. I don't have to worry about any of that. I buy it over the internet, and I start to receive money the very next day. Okay, so let's compare buying a booster to, let's say, buy a business. Okay, I can relate to this because I've been in business my entire life. But I'll give you an example. Let's say you were a dentist, okay, and you want an operation where you're the head dentist, and you've got operating costs, and you've got equipment costs, and so you buy the phone number from the former dentist that owned the place, and so you buy a business. Okay, so let's just say that this business costs you $50,000. Okay. You buy 50 boosters, it also costs you $50,000. So let's compare to these two things. Your monthly costs would be about $1,000. Let's just, as an example, it depends on the business. Okay. But in this example, these are very accurate numbers. So I got this from Willis. He did this. So monthly cost, $1,000. Monthly income, also about $1,000. The yearly income at $12,000. And these numbers are very typical of owning a business. Okay. Compare that to boosters. Buy 50 boosters, $50,000. But your daily income is $200. Your monthly income is $6,000 approximately. Your yearly income, $72,000. Holy crap, which one would you do? Well, I know which one I am doing because it's a no-brainer from my perspective. Let's just compare boosters to real estate, okay? Lots of people know about real estate, that you can make some really good money in real estate. I used to do that too. So let's say you have one property, $100,000. Well, you got to fix it up. You got to advertise. You got monthly costs, yearly costs, depending on how long you hold it or what you're doing with it. Maybe you get some tenants in there instead of selling it because you're losing money. You're hemorrhaging. Okay. Nobody wants to hemorrhage. Your monthly estimated costs once you have your tenants in there. Oh, and they call you up in the middle of the night for whatever. Lots of headaches. $500. This is after you've paying off the mortgage. Okay. This is your pocket, your net income. And the yearly estimate is $6,000 with the same cost. So you buy 100 boosters. Again, they're $1,000 per one booster. It's $100,000. Your daily income, approximate $100. Your monthly income, $12,000. Your yearly income, $144,000. $144,000. Sorry, bad word usage. But this is really cool because this business is a real business. Okay. I've got friends that have been on site on the business, and they've done tours of the server room. They've done tours of the business. And we've got 3 sites that have these boosters. Okay. Each one of these little trays here, teeny little tray, holds 20 boosters. There's like 1,000 boosters in this room right here alone. I don't remember the number exactly, but we've got 3 locations where their boosters are being housed, and that's for disaster recovery, because if something happens at one place, we still are up and running. Okay. And so the boosters have a VPN connection back to the server farm where the mining farm is, and they've got a direct connection. So my friend walks into the he was literally having lunch across the street, and looks across the street. He's at the hotel. Looks across the street. And he sees BitHarvest on the door. He's like, what's this? He walks in the door. And I'm going, that's really cool. He just walked in the door, and they tell him all about it. And he's like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And he tells me about it. And we all got involved. And this is what I really like, is this is a real company. The boss, he's a real guy. They've done some. Oh yeah, I want to talk about this. We're paid in Bitcoin every day. We really are. So $100 USD. So you get 1 share. They broke a booster into shares so that for those people that just want to get their feet wet, please do get your feet wet. Come test it out. Have a good experience. Make some withdrawals. You make about 50 cents per day, 30 cents to 50 cents per day. It's just a numbers game. That's all it is. Is amount of volume, the more boosters that you own, the more you make per day. I don't need to read these numbers to you. I also got this from Wendell as well. He's a really smart guy, and he knows a lot about finance, and I'm really impressed with him. But I wanted to tell you about the company itself. So the boss, he's got a background in finance, and he used to run a little hobby farm of owning a rig. Okay, like I said, $10,000 to buy a rig or buy 10 boosters. Okay, one rig produces about $5 a day, 10 boosters, $100 a day. Okay. But his name is Logan Lee. Okay. These two guys here. This is Logan Lee, and he's a very personable guy. If you want to have an interview with him, by all means, you can. He's a real guy. And he was at the expo in Dubai on the floor talking to people, and people are coming by, checking places out, and communicating with them. And this is where we picked up our second mining farm that we've got a contract with. Is a guy on the floor, start talking to him, and he kicking the tires, and he was really impressed, and so he signs the contract. And so now that's why we have three. Well, that's why we had two at the time. This is Lenny Herlin. He's from Poland. Now this he's got some real good smarts. Okay, he worked on the Ethereum, which is another crypto, and he's now working on this program with us. Okay, so here's some other things that are really important. These guys have been interviewed by Binance four times. It only shows 3 here, but he had another one subsequent to that. And Binance doesn't interview schmucks. They interview real people, because Binance is a real company. They have their reputation to hold. Okay, and you can actually view these online, see their interviews, and it's like, wow, this is really cool stuff. So yeah, this is a real company, and it's awesome. We've got an award that we won just back in April, and it was for the best service provider. Okay, our footprint, well, we've got lots of things on the go. This picture here, why is this picture important? Because, hey, we actually have a guy here in Antarctica. It should list that, but there's no phone numbers in Antarctica, so it don't list him. It shows him as in New Zealand. But the size of these little blips is the number of people in our office. But here's the best thing, because this is not drop shipped to your door. People buy hardware, people buy stuff every day online. This is just something else that you can buy online, but not just something else. This is something that produces you money every single day. And you can withdraw multiple times a day if you want to. The minimum withdrawal is $10 in USDT or $0.001 in Bitcoin. That's about $60. Well, $70 depends on the price of Bitcoin. And you can withdraw every day. Don't have to put another penny in if you don't want to. And we are all over the world and growing, because there's no reason why you can't become a customer. Oh, this is a really important point. Everybody needs to become a customer, because they get to have the experience of growing income at a minimal price, $1,000 or $100, depending upon where you live. It may be expensive, but if people in Venezuela or Ethiopia are dishing out $100 to buy a machine, that's 3 months worth of income down there. Okay, somebody here in North America, $1,000, easy. That's not even 3 months worth of income. So give me a break. Everybody can get involved with this price point. And that's what makes it really cool, is you buy it once and it pays you forever. It pays you every single day. This is another real cool thing. They have their MSB license. Okay, this is significant, because without this license, they wouldn't be able to deal with monies on the internet. But so this is their registration number right here. Should be big enough to read it. And it was with FinCEN. Okay, but as a result of having this license, they're now in communication with MasterCard, and they're in the process of making a card for us, so that we have another way to withdraw our money that we're earning every single day. Another way to withdraw it directly to an ATM. Okay, so this is the passive side of this business. Okay, and we're going to talk about active side in just a second here. But everybody can be a customer, and you don't have to worry. Like, you don't want to talk to anybody, that's okay. You don't have to, because the machine works for you. It's the machine making you money. Hey, Andy, would you like to talk about something?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of things that I thought of as you were going through some great stuff just now. It's going back really to the price of Bitcoin, and where our guarantee is in this process. The guarantee is not in the company lasting 20 years, 50 years. We honestly believe it will, because it's a sustainable business model, and the need to mine Bitcoin is going to be around for at least another 120 years. Until all 21 million Bitcoin have been mined, there's going to be people mining Bitcoin. After that, there's still going to be people making money on the transactions of Bitcoin. So we think that this business model is good, is reliable, sustainable, and is going to be around for at least 120 years, probably a lot more than that. But the reason we are confident that the price of Bitcoin is going up is because of the way that it was put together in the first place. Sorry, rewind. So our security is not in the company. Our security is not in our ability to do things, because that one day none of us are going to be able to at some point in our future we won't be able to do things. We'll be on holiday, we'll be ill, we'll be not on this planet anymore. Okay, so our security for our income is not in our own ability. The security of our income is in the value of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is going to continue to go up. And the reason is there's only 21 million that's going to be mined. That creates scarcity. And the laws of supply and demand that have driven commerce for the last 5, 6, 7,000 years, depends who you believe, dictate that when there's a scarcity, the price increases. So there's only 21 million Bitcoin, and a lot of them being taken out of the marketplace every single day by some big thinkers, some big money men are taking a lot of Bitcoin and putting it aside for future use, which means that the rest of us that can access some Bitcoin, our assets are going up in just silly numbers. Walter spoke just now about Cathy Wood saying that Bitcoin is going to increase by 55,800% in the next 5 years. It's going to go up to 3.8 million per Bitcoin in the next 5 years. Okay, and the reason she's come to that conclusion is because there is a scarcity, and she knows how much the demand for Bitcoin is going to increase. Therefore, she can guesstimate what Bitcoin is going to be worth. So why am I telling you this? Because a lot of people look at this and they say, well, if I put $1,000 in, how long is it going to take me to get my $1,000 back? Well, Walter just showed you some figures that one booster is earning about $250 a month. My calculations are it's a little bit less than that, because some of it goes off to the compensation plan. But let's suppose I'm right and it's 6 months. That's still pretty good. After 6 months, that booster is paid for, and you continue to receive income from that booster for years, literally for years, on into the future. So you pay for it once, it pays itself off in 6 months, and from then on, it's free money. Who doesn't like free money? Okay, so that really is the deal. I'm not being facetious. That really is the deal. You pay for it once, it pays itself off in, say, 6 months, and from then on, it's free money. But it's even better than that, is because your security is based in Bitcoin. The money you earn on day one on having the booster just in active mode for one single day, the Bitcoin you earn on that very first day at some point will be enough to repay that booster cost. If you just save that Bitcoin for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, who knows how long, but there will be a short period of time, 2 or 3 years, okay, that one day's income will pay for that one booster that you bought. So now, knowing that you're going to get paid for that booster is actually going to pay itself off in 2 different ways. There is a third way, in that in a lot of countries, and it may be your country, I don't know, the expense, the business expense of buying a booster is a tax deductible expense. Therefore, you can earn more money before you have to start paying tax, because you paid out for a booster. Okay, so our security in this operation is multiple, and it's not based on the company. The company, we think the company is going to be around for a long time, but even if it isn't, just the money you make on day one of having a booster is enough to pay for that booster many times over. In 5 years, that one day's income will be worth $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Okay, so I wanted to say that. I know it took me a long time to say not very much, but I'm excited about that because there aren't any other opportunities out there that do this. With all other opportunities, you put your money in and you're going to get a repayment in 50 days, 60 days, a year, 3 years, whatever it is. Okay, you've got to hope and pray that that company stays around for those 3 years or 1 year. Okay, and if they don't, you've lost your money. Whereas with this, just the single first day's income of Bitcoin at some point in time will be enough to give you back your $1,000. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that. The other is that people don't understand the security of the relationship between the mining rigs, the mining farms, and the mining pool. At no point does the mining farm own the Bitcoin they produce. Okay, that would be absolutely open for abuse. Okay, imagine I'm a mining farm and I say, I just put some numbers through my machine and say, okay, I've done this much work, so I've earned 5 Bitcoin today. Okay, without any checks and balances on what I'm doing, I'd be able to do that. I just program one of these mining rigs to produce 10 Bitcoin a day. Thank you very much. Okay, the mining rig actually does the work, and it doesn't produce Bitcoin. It produces something called a proof of work or proof of calculation, some sort of arrangement, some sort of agreement on the blockchain. It's all tied down on the blockchain with the mining pool, so that when the mining farm sends the proof of work to the mining pool, the mining pool is the one that produces the Bitcoin. And then part of that Bitcoin, without any recourse to the mining farm, part of that Bitcoin goes into your account. Okay, and it's all covered on the blockchain. Everybody can see exactly what the work was that was done, how much Bitcoin was produced, where that Bitcoin went. Okay, and some of it ends up in your account. So it's the absolutely most secure system of you getting involved in something that generates money, and for that money to end up in your pocket. There's nothing more secure on the whole planet, in my opinion. So that's what I wanted to say, Walter. It is confusing having Jan's name under your picture. But yes, that's what I want to say. But check back with me because I might have something useful to say a bit later.
All right. Well, let's talk about 5 ways that this company produces Bitcoin for us.
You're not sharing your screen, Walter.
Yeah, I'm just pulling that up. Sorry. 5 ways that this company makes money for us. Number 1 way is with Bitcoin. Oh, I was actually gonna share this with you guys, but I don't have time to find it. I know it's in here someplace. 5 ways that we can earn money. Well, number 1, we can, no point in sharing because there's nothing to see. Number 1 is we make Bitcoin. This is the most important way. Number 1, we make Bitcoin. Number 2, for those of you that likes to talk to friends and invite friends to come buy it, you can be a passive customer without a problem. And if, as you have a good experience, which you will, hey, friend, come look at this. And that's okay too. They can be your client and they buy a booster and you make a commission off of that. And that's really nice. Okay. As you do that, that income goes up. Okay. And your friends will tend to talk to their friends too, and that's okay. So that becomes network buying. So that's number 3. Okay, is all of a sudden your boosters start producing from a team, you start making money off of that. And so that's commissions and that's residuals from your Bitcoin, from your boosters. And the 5th one is you can make money off of BTH, which is a utility token. Right now it's used to part of the purchase process of the booster, and that also has a finite number, only 500,000. No, it's the same number of Bitcoins that are produced, same number of BTH, and so there's a finite number, and so that price goes up over time. We're going to be creating a where'd it go? Creating a, there it is. a network, its own blockchain, and we will be, once we have our own blockchain, we'll also be creating the coin itself will be on exchanges. And so the coin started off at 7 cents or whatever it was. It's now at 40 cents. I've seen it fluctuate between 20 and 50 cents. And so at some point in time in the future, that coin will be also on exchanges like Binance and stuff like that. And that may be one of the reasons why Binance is interviewing us, because they've got their eye on us going, hey, this is a really good project here. And so the price of that, and that'll be a source of income. And also at that point, you will be mining ETH as well with your current miners that are producing Bitcoin for you. And so this is super, super cool. I already talked about this. There we go. We can talk about a little bit briefly the income as your team grows. Again, there's no, you don't have to talk to people if you don't want to talk to people, because being a customer is truly the best thing. But as your team grows, which it does organically, you simply make a little bit more income as you go up the ranks. Okay. And so and there's requirements to go up the ranks, and we can go into lots of detail about this another time. I just want to kind of briefly show it to you. I've already talked about that page. That one's over. All right. So I can't think of anything else that wants to be said at this point. Would somebody like to stick up their hand and tell us their experience, tell us their testimony? For example, Lace, I know you talked to me the other day about your experience in private. Would you be willing to I'll get to you in a second. Would you be willing to tell me your experience? I know it's kind of an emotional experience, but we're all friends here. Okay. I'd love for you to stick up your hand and do that if you'd like. Wendell, just give me a second. Let me find your name.
I've got it.
There we go. Perfect. Go ahead.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Sure can.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, I try to make sure I have my numbers ready every Monday. Just to update everybody, those who've been here, it's been a total of right at 9 weeks or almost 9 weeks. And we've replaced my wife's bring home income with BitHarvest. 26 years she's been at her job. Love her job, great company, all that stuff. They've done a lot for her. She's got like, I think, a month of vacation at this point. That's all well and good. But the fact now, in just weeks, barely over 2 months, boom, her bring home income has been replaced. Now, the one thing that changed that was I forgot that her bonus is coming, and her review, the yearly review. Her yearly review is done this Friday as well. And because of the yearly review, she went up a little bit higher. But notice it was only about 3% roughly. So by next week, because I'm taking all my Bitcoin, because it's small right now, and all of my income in USDT, I'm putting everything back into the end of the year. So after next week, I'm sorry, this week that we're in right now, it just took 1 more week. We're still going to surpass her bring home income. And she just got a pay raise. If this doesn't make sense to you, I can't imagine what could be said, how many meetings, what else we could possibly do. 26 years of income, because of what we chose to do, has been replaced. Then she got a pay raise, and by the end of this week, still going to surpass her weekly income. It's a really nice place to be. Back to you guys. Appreciate everything you're doing.
Well, it's a tremendous testimony, Wendell. Thank you so much for sharing. And you're absolutely right. We can build a career. We can spend years doing something with the wrong vehicle, and it doesn't take us anywhere near as far as when we get in the right vehicle. Put a little bit of effort in, and because it's the right vehicle, it takes us much further. A job is not designed to get you rich. This business is, or maybe not rich, but certainly wealthy. Certainly, relieve all your money problems. A job is designed to get the job done. This is designed to create Bitcoin income for you for the rest of your life, basically. So tremendous testimony. Well done.
Thank you, Wendell. Lace, I'd like to hear, thanks for sticking up your hand. Let's hear you.
Hello,
Go ahead.
can you hear me?
We can.
Hi, Lace.
Oh, cool. Good morning, everybody. It's like 7 a.m. here in New Zealand. And so my brain is still waking up, so excuse my slowness. I just wanted to say that BitHarvest is such an easy project. It's one of the easiest things I've ever joined. And for me, it's not about the business. For me, it's about the people. So we're struggling here in New Zealand, and I just so happy that I found something that could open the gates for us to have some kind of freedom. And I think this company has got the potential to help every person that's struggling out there, because it's so easy. Bitcoin is going up, so we might as well just go with it. There's nothing else that I can see out there going up at the moment. And so it's created me an income. And I'm so, like, I'm for the people that you probably can hear it in my voice, that I am just helping them because they are creating me an income too. So I can help more people. This is a no-brainer. This is the best company I've ever been with, and I'm not going anywhere. So thank you for letting me come on, Walter.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Lace.
Okay, so here's just some final comments. I'm gonna shut off the recording, and then we'll play our little game, because there's 50 people in the room here today, and then we'll show the back office. Okay. So just some final comments. Those that are hearing my voice, you need to take action today. You need to, like, get involved. Talk to your friend who gave you this recording. Get their link from them. Okay. Take action today, because you don't need to have full knowledge. We all didn't start with full knowledge. We all start with what we have, but with a price point so easy. Take action, and then watch and see that we're telling you. Hey, Crypto Cricket, would you like to say something?
Good afternoon and good morning. I have a special person on the line who's been a part of us since May, and I don't know if he's listening, but today is his birthday.
What? That's super awesome.
His name is Blair, so maybe I'll look for Blair in the box there. Maybe you can give him some directions on it, because he doesn't know anything about this part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, Blair's here.
Yeah, we'll get you to send me his username and on Telegram, okay? And then I'll forward that off to Jan tonight. Wendell, you wanted to say something more?
Yeah, Wendell, come and say hi again.
Yeah, I threw my hand back up because one of my pet peeves that people do, and they swear it's a really good idea, to procrastinate, to Selah, to get all spiritual about making decisions, about they have to wait for the Lord and all this stuff. Look, okay, so a particular scripture I know people use a lot incorrectly, where it literally says to make sure you get what? Understanding. And everything you get. The problem is people get an analysis paralysis. Fear, call it whatever you want. They act like they're reading the scripture. And I know a lot of people who misquote scripture, their lives are going in the absolute wrong direction. It's bananas. But they swear they're right. The scripture says, in all of your what? Getting, you get understanding. It does not say get understanding and then go get. We have it backwards, and we do a lot of that in our lives, and it costs us dearly. Time is very precious. So just do what the scripture says, the way it said, for those who use the word. Everybody may not. But again, in all of your getting, you get understanding. Rather you understand it or not, get involved. In my opinion, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't offer any of that. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. We get involved, rather you understand BitHarvest completely or not. And while you're in here, Allow the income you're making every day in a currency that's going up, not down, using the currency that only goes down, your dollar, your pounds, your yen, your euro, turn it into crypto. Use the one guaranteed to go to zero every single time in the history of man. Never, ever has it held its value, no currency, and never has it actually gone up. Stop watching that crap on the news. And then financial arenas talking about the dollar's going higher in the York. Shut up. It only goes down. It takes more to do the exact same thing. Has never held value, never will hold value. They only go down. Use those and get a new form of currency. Still not money, by the way. But get the new one that's going which way? Which way is Bitcoin going? Up. So if you can use the one guaranteed to go to zero to get the one that could potentially go to the absolute moon, why would you not do that with some of it? Think of it this way. What if Kathy Woods, now again, juggernaut when it comes to analysis, correct? She's a beast. Okay, let's pretend that she's 90% wrong. Let's show how simple this is. This is why you don't overthink stuff. Swearing you're right. Cut that mess out. If she's 90% wrong, 3.8 million, y'all know that's still 380,000, right? So if you only got 5 Bitcoin and they worth 380,000, not 3.8 million, still 1.9 million. Yeah, don't be sitting there trying to understand everything. That's not how this game is played. That's how we were taught in that school system. It's not about knowing and getting all the answers and waiting for it's perfect. And now I understand, and now I can go share it with other people. I have to understand. You're wasting time. If you have BitHarvest working and your Bit boosters are producing Bitcoin, whether you understand or not, guess what? You're getting paid every single day. Those are my little 2 cents. I'm out here. Stop giving me stuff to come in on, Walter. You keep saying stuff that's sparking my brain, man.
But actually, that's an important point. I'm trying to say stuff that's sparking your brain is because every single one of us needs a little spark in the brain going, get going, start doing stuff, and start taking action and take action. Right?
Yeah, exactly. If you don't get a spark in the brain from listening to Walter, then you've wasted 2 hours being here. You know, the idea is to get you thinking.
All right.
So I just want to say something about that, Walter, because I had a little conversation with God a little while ago. A number of my friends are believers, and I said, so you know, if they give me all these excuses and they say that they're waiting on God and they've got to pray on it and things like that. I said, what do I say to them? He said, tell them what I told Moses to tell Pharaoh. Yeah, and that is, God sent me. Because I honestly believe that I don't believe God wants any of us to live in poverty or to live without hope or to live without a future, to be able to pass that on to future generations, because the Bible does say that a good man looks after his children's children. So you can't do that if you're broke and on the dole and living homeless. So the Good Samaritan wasn't a peasant. He was a wealthy man. He couldn't have done what he did if he didn't have the money to pay for the guy to stay in the hotel and be fed for months at a time. So God doesn't want us to be poor. He wants us to have live a life of abundance. He wants us to partake of everything, all the good things that He's put on the earth. And if you don't believe in God, that's fine. You may have your own reasons for wanting to have a better future, but those people who challenge me with, I've got to check it with God, I say, yeah, go ahead, I'll wait. Or let's do it together. Let's check together. And I've never had God say to anybody, yeah, stay poor. He doesn't want us to be poor. He just wants us to put Him first, not put money first. But He doesn't want us to be poor. Anyway, that's my little sermon on the mount.
That's right. No, this business is the perfect storm, because like it came at the perfect time, and all of us were looking for a way to put Bitcoin back into people's pockets. Like many of us have had all sorts of experiences that it just didn't pan out for whatever reasons, and this allows us to put Bitcoin back into people's pockets, and the way it was found, everything, how it correlates together, this truly is the best business I have ever seen. And Andy and I have analyzed hundreds of businesses over this past year, and it's like, oh man, you guys don't want to know the hassle that we have gone through to find this. This is the best company ever. Hey, Poet Woods, what would you like to say?
Mic check, mic check. You can hear me okay, right?
Sure can.
Okay, perfect. You know, y'all got me fired up over here. I'm pacing back and forth like a caged lion listening to this each and every time, you know. It's really interesting because when we talk about the faith element of it, we know that faith is the assured expectations of the things hoped for, the evident demonstrations of realities though not yet beheld. And so when we talk about the secrets of the universe, if we're talking from an understanding of a divine creator, we're talking energy, frequency, and vibration. That's what everything is consistent of. So even if, worst case scenario, we tuned in our desires, our wants, the things that we had out for ourselves and our families, we'll realize that this has been attracted to us based upon where we are in our energy, frequencies, and vibrations of an opportunity. If we want to go to the point of prayer, whether the prayer is scientific or whether the prayer is spiritual, well, then we've prayed before, haven't we? And since we've prayed before, well, then this very well may be the answer. All we have to do then is pay attention, because we realize that same thing what Warren Buffett was saying, right? Price is what we pay. Value is what we get. It's been so well articulated here by Walter, Andy, Wendell, and so many other examples that we have, the persistency of the parallels. It's a consistency. When we talk about the power of going from where we are to where we want to be, getting to the next level, there's no study, mentorship, or coaching that we can go and find that doesn't highlight the point of the mastermind, where it's a synergy, where the collective of the whole is greater than the sum of the part. Well, what we have here is something that's outstanding. If you listen, you'll hear the energy, frequency, and vibration. You'll feel it, what Lace was saying. And then you start to hear these men and these women who have stood on the shoulders of giants before them, but most importantly, are giants in their own right. Individual geniuses in their own right, who've done their due diligence for themselves and their family. So now we have a compounded, synergistic energy, frequency, and vibration where we start to point the flashlight of our focus in an opportunity that is resonating with each and every one of us. There's something called sympathetic resonance. We can have a grand piano, two grand pianos, or a guitar or a violin, and we can play the C string on one of them. It will vibrate on the other instruments as if it's being played. That's called sympathetic resonance. Well, the instrument that has the most superlative resonance is that of the human being and the human mind. What we have here with BitHarvest is the result culmination of that. And here's what's really dope, and then I'm out of here, is this. We're only scratching the scratch of it right now. We're just getting started, y'all. You feel how good this feels? This is not fake. You can't fool all of us. Even if you were able to fool Poet, you couldn't fool Poet, Wendell, Andy, and Walter all together. That would be really hard. You'd have to get up pretty early in the morning to do that. But this is an opportunity that everybody's been able to sink their teeth into. And we have an energy, frequency, and vibration and come together as a team. And watch what happens, what we do right now. I'm really grateful to be part of this family. You guys are amazing, man. I'm always blown away. You never cease to amaze me day after day, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, all of the testimonials. Please keep the fire going, and I'll do my best to continue to add to it. Thank you so much, team. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, stay focused. Straight ahead.
Yeah, we appreciate you too, Poet. Thanks for the testimonial. Okay, so we've got Wendell back again. This is rapidly turning into the Wendell show, but
It's okay.
You've always got words of wisdom for us, Wendell. So yeah, come on back.
All right, so of course I had to make sure I went and found the scripture for those who actually use the word. It's Proverbs 4:7. Please read it, study it, make sure you know what it's saying, and then help everybody around you that uses it incorrectly. It will help change and transform people's lives. It's amazing how we just flip stuff backwards. Now we know why that young gentleman that was just on there, his name is Poet. Was he flowing or what? So check this out. Here's another reason. As we're doing all this, I'm just thinking. I spoke to my uncle yesterday. This was a man who works with his hands. He can build a house out of almost nothing. The man is great at what he does. Somehow, his large intestine was blocking his small intestine somehow. Don't know how that happens. I can't even fathom looking at the body, but it happened. They did a surgery on him, right? He is unable to work for a while. How much income can my uncle make now that his body's been impeded, had surgery, and cannot work? He can't make any money because he works with his hands. I had this conversation with him yesterday because, I mean, again, light bulb going off more and more because now he's actually in that situation where you never want to be. So for anyone else on this call, with all the wisdom and knowledge you're hearing here today, and you have a job or a career, better yet, let me say it this way. You have to get up in the morning and go to somewhere to make income or have to produce somehow, and it's relying on you, you're in the world of trouble. You just don't know it yet. You're on a call right now. You're hearing people telling you right now, I'm literally focusing on that. Do not let that be you after today, in my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't offer financial advice, but you're listening to an opportunity where if you get out of bed or not, if you feel good or not, if you are on a trip, if you're at work, if you have a thriving company, a failing company, it doesn't matter. You have to get in a position, in my opinion, where your mindset understands you must make income without you doing anything in this world that we're in, or else. That's it's boiling down to or else. Either do this or else. I'm actually done this time. I might turn this Zoom off if y'all don't stop giving me nuggets to pop in here. All right, back to you guys. I so appreciate every one of y'all.
Thanks, Wendell. Okay, so you got your hand up. Should we make this the last one, and then we'll stop the recording? So, LK, come and say hi. Did I ask you to unmute? I think I did.
Okay. All right, that's good. Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're a bit fuzzy.
Good pleasure.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. I just wanted to say what I love you. I think that and that's got a little spirit there. And it boils down to
Sorry, LK, hang on a second. Walter, is that clear for you? It's not.
No, I'm hearing every third syllable. I can't hear him.
Yeah.
okay, just hang on a second. All right. Hang on a second.
Well, tell you what, why don't we have LK log back off, log back on, and we'll have you talk. Let's
Yeah, not sure. I think we lost LK. So
Okay, is that better?
oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you can hear me, right?
yes.
Okay. Since everybody was into the spiritual realm a little bit, I don't know if maybe I missed it because I kind of got on a little late, but it boils down to for me anyway, it's the law of the harvest. You know, the spirit, you say if you plant a seed, you will reap the rewards from planting that seed. Now, if you plant a little seed, you just might get a little harvest next year or whatever. The more seeds you plant, the more seeds you sow, basically, the bigger your harvest. So BitHarvest, that's I mean, it just couldn't get any better than that, man. And so that I just wanted to throw that in. I mean, that's the law, law of the harvest, basically. You plant a seed and you'll reap the rewards. So that's all I wanted to say.
Very good. That's exactly right. I thank you for contributing. Yeah, that's what it boils down to is everybody
And of course,
needs to have,
I'm just gonna.
everybody needs to have a booster. That's what it boils down to. And
Yeah.
because I'm really enjoying what's going on. I'm just an IT guy. I talked to my friend, hey friend, come. come join me because this is saving my life. It's saving my friends' lives. It can save yours as well. You know, so that's what we're going to end with. I'm going to shut off the recording and